Major severe weather outbreak is taking shape across the southern United States, and this setup has all the ingredients for a dangerous afternoon and evening. From the Red River Valley straight through to the Mid-South, we're looking at the potential for destructive hail, powerful wind gusts, and several strong tornadoes. And this isn't just a one-day event. The severe weather threat continues into Wednesday as the system pushes eastward, bringing a tornado risk to areas along the Atlantic seaboard that don't typically see much severe weather this time of year. After Wednesday evening, conditions should finally settle down across most of the country. But right now, we need to focus on the next 36 hours because it's going to get intense out there. So, let's get right into the forecast. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a significant enhanced risk area that stretches from north-central Texas through Arkansas and into western Mississippi. This includes metropolitan areas like Dallas-Fort Worth, Shreveport, Little Rock, and Jackson. When you see an enhanced risk, you know forecasters are concerned about the potential for widespread severe weather with some significant storms mixed in. Surrounding that enhanced area, there's a broad, slight risk covering Nashville, Memphis, Birmingham, and extending westward to Springfield, Missouri. Even outside those zones, a marginal risk extends from the hill country of Texas all the way to eastern Kentucky. The primary threat today is going to be damaging straight-line winds. We're talking about organized clusters of thunderstorms capable of producing wind gusts between 60 and 80 mph. The Storm Prediction Center has highlighted a significant wind area, meaning winds of 75 mph or greater are distinctly possible. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, Shreveport, or Little Rock, now's the time to secure anything in your yard that could become a projectile. Large to giant hail is also a major concern, particularly across North Texas and Northwest Louisiana. Supercell thunderstorms developing late this afternoon could produce hail exceeding 3 inches in diameter near Dallas, Fort Worth, and Shreveport. We're not just talking about golf ball-sized hail here. Softball-sized hail is genuinely possible, and that's the kind of hail that will total your vehicle and punch through roofs. With over 5 million people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area alone, vehicle protection needs to be a priority this afternoon. From San Antonio northeastward through Memphis, baseball-sized hail will be possible. The tornado threat is elevated as well. Right now, there's a 5% tornado probability covering much of Arkansas, northeast Texas, and northern Louisiana. Arkansas in particular needs to remain alert for strong tornadoes during the afternoon and evening hours. There's also a lower-end tornado risk extending eastward to Birmingham, Lexington, and Louisville. Here's what's driving this setup. An amplified upper-level trough is digging into the central Rockies, phasing with a southern stream disturbance. That combination is creating strong dynamics across the southern plains. At the surface, a developing low-pressure system is drawing rich Gulf moisture northward, with dew points climbing into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Meanwhile, a dry line is setting up from North Texas southward, and that's going to be the focal point for storm initiation this afternoon. The jet stream is positioned favorably too, with strong speed shear and directional shear in place. When you combine robust instability with strong wind shear, you get an environment that supports both supercells and intense squall lines. Today is the most significant day of the outbreak. North Central Texas, especially the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area, is going to be ground zero for potentially violent supercells. These storms will have the capability to produce extremely large hail, damaging winds exceeding 70 mph apiece, and strong tornadoes. Shreveport faces a similar threat, with supercells likely tracking from northwest to southeast across the region. Arkansas is in for widespread severe weather, though the storm mode there will likely transition more toward a squall line by mid-evening. That squall line will pack a serious punch with widespread damaging winds, embedded tornadoes possible, and some large hail on the leading edge. Little Rock should prepare for a very active evening. Moving eastward, Jackson, Mississippi will be in the path of the squall line by late evening, with damaging winds being the primary concern, though tornadoes will remain possible. Memphis and Nashville are on the eastern fringe, but isolated severe storms will still be possible. Now let's talk timing. During the morning hours, a cluster of elevated thunderstorms will be ongoing across southern Oklahoma and northern Texas, near the Red River Valley. By mid-morning, around 10 a.m., these storms will be approaching the Oklahoma City metro area, primarily producing large hail and gusty winds. The main show begins around lunchtime. By 1 p.m., discrete supercells will start firing along the dry line in north-central Texas. This is when the tornado threat begins to increase across areas like Wichita Falls and south toward the Metroplex. Simultaneously, a cluster of storms will be organizing across Arkansas. By 3 p.m., things really ramp up. Multiple supercells will be tracking across the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area and surrounding counties with giant hail up to softball size, 70 to 80 mile-an-peak winds, and tornadoes. The storms will be moving from northwest to southeast. In Arkansas, the storm cluster will be intensifying into a formidable squall line, pushing eastward with widespread damaging winds from 60 to 80 mph. Between 5 and 7 p.m., the situation becomes critical. The Dallas-Fort Worth metro will likely have multiple supercells simultaneously affecting different parts of the Metroplex. You'll want to have multiple ways to receive warnings because the tornado threat will be quite real during this window. In northern Louisiana, supercells will be producing very large hail and tornadoes. The squall line over Arkansas pushes into Mississippi with the greatest wind threat affecting Jackson. By 9 p.m., the main supercell threat shifts eastward toward the Texas-Louisiana border near Tyler and Longview, maintaining their tornado and large hail potential. The squall line will be pushing through Mississippi, gradually weakening. Most severe weather should taper off by midnight. On Wednesday, the severe weather threat shifts eastward and southward. We're looking at two separate marginal risk areas. One covers portions of East Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, where lingering storm activity could produce isolated damaging winds and a stray tornado or two. The more interesting area is the second marginal risk along the mid-Atlantic coast, including Richmond, Norfolk, and Washington, D.C. The main threats there will be damaging wind gusts and isolated large hail, with a low-end tornado threat also in play. It's been fairly quiet across Virginia and the Carolinas recently, so this is a good reminder to review your severe weather safety plans. While the tornado probabilities are low, tornadoes are still possible, particularly during the late afternoon and early evening from roughly 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. The environment won't support any kind of major tornado outbreak, but one or two brief tornadoes are certainly on the table, especially near Richmond and Washington, D.C. Let me dive into some technical details. Moisture return ahead of the system is impressive, with dew points surging into the upper 60s across North Texas and Arkansas by afternoon. That kind of moisture combined with strong heating will generate CAPE values exceeding 2,000 joules per kilogram, representing moderate to strong instability. The wind profile is particularly favorable for supercells and tornadoes. Bulk shear values will be in the 40 to 50 knot range across the enhanced risk area, more than sufficient for organized severe storms. The 0-1 kilometer shear is also impressive, exceeding 25 knots in spots, which supports tornadoes if supercells can develop. Storm mode is going to vary geographically. Across North Texas and Northwest Louisiana, discrete supercells are expected to dominate during peak heating hours, producing giant hail and strong tornadoes. Across Arkansas and into Mississippi, storms will likely grow upscale into a squall line by evening, shifting the primary threat toward widespread damaging winds. Beyond the severe weather, heavy rainfall will accompany these storms. Flash flooding could become a concern across areas that see repeated rounds. Rainfall totals of 1 to 3 inches are likely across portions of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, with locally higher amounts possible. The ground is already fairly saturated across parts of the Mid-South from recent rainfall. Looking beyond Wednesday, the pattern becomes quieter. Additional storm chances will develop across the Gulf Coast and Southern Plains Thursday and Friday, mainly affecting Texas and Louisiana, though the severe weather threat appears limited. By the weekend, high pressure builds in across much of the central and eastern United States, finally giving us that break from active weather. However, that tranquil period may be short-lived. There are signs that another storm system could bring severe weather potential back to the Midwest early next week, with more widespread severe weather looking likely by the middle and end of next week. We're approaching the peak of severe weather season in May. To wrap things up, here's what you need to remember. Today is the big day, with enhanced risk severe weather from Dallas-Fort Worth through Little Rock and into Jackson. All modes of severe weather are on the table: destructive winds, giant hail, and strong tornadoes. The peak threat window is this afternoon into tonight. Wednesday brings a continuation of the severe threat, shifted eastward and southward, with the mid-Atlantic facing an unusual tornado risk. After that, we finally catch a break. I'll have another update for you tomorrow. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss important updates. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video.